Do you want to know the best car I ever had?
Go on.
I get called a hypocrite for this, but the first Porsche Taycan I had, because it got so much talk, pardon the pun. Chris Harris was on Joe Rogan, and he mentioned the guy who lost 100 grand on an electric car, Porsche Taycan, and it was me he was talking about. And Supercar Blondie got loads of stories out of it. My car was all over Supercar Blondie's website all the time. It was a really well-known car.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Life podcast. At the Motorist as always, I'm delighted today to be joined by two guys, one who I've just met, but one I've known for a lot of years. So I've got Paul and Lee. Now, you might recognise Lee as the MacMaster, the face on YouTube, as well as other social media platforms, but we'll come to that shortly. But for those people who've been living under a rock, do you want to just tell people who you are?
I am the MacMaster, thanks to this gentleman here who gave me the name many, many years ago. I am on YouTube. I do travel, food, tech, electric cars, flights, travel around the world, and basically take you out of the day-to-day negativity that the mainstream media give you.
And Paul, I've known you a long time now. We live in a locality and we've done a lot of car trips together. And so YouTube. Take us back to the beginning.
Oh dear, right. Well, I've always been into video. I wanted to be a videographer, not a graphic designer, which is what I was.
Which is how you met Paul in the outset, working for Paul's company as a graphic designer.
I desperately tried to fail that interview, but for some reason I still got the job. I don't know why.
And you're still friends with him?
Do you know what? It was, going off tangent here from YouTube, it was the best 7 years of my life working in the Chad newspaper. It was great. I think it was the camaraderie and the people that you met. I mean, we were just the crazy ones.
It was a local newspaper, basically, called the Chad, still going today.
Local to where?
Mansfield.
Okay.
It's based in Mansfield. So I ran all the design side of everything. And you're always looking for graphic designers. So what was she called? Elaine, wasn't it? Elaine Meakin, who was my boss, said, I've had a bit of a chat with this strange lad. I think he'd be all right. He said, she said, I'm not sure whether, you're going to have to train him or do whatever with him, but would you see him? So I did. I met you and your mum and dad, I think, at the same time.
Came along.
And strange interview.
Yeah.
How old were you?
16, 17.
Yeah. So his qualifications were like absolute minus, I think. I think if he got anything, they took it off him anyway. But I just liked Lee. I liked his character. He got something about it.
It's very personal.
Yeah, and he was a creative. His mind very creative. And so we joined it, or you joined us, and then, I don't know, within a very short period of time, Apple had brought in the Mac Plus and
Macintosh, Mac, Plus and SE, wasn't it?
Yeah, SE, that was it, yeah. And I started to sort of learn how to use these things, and I've been on all sorts of training courses, but then I thought, well, let's see what Lee can do. So I basically give him a little brick in a funny little screen and have a go, see what you think, and then bang, he just got it. It was just one of those things.
So is that, am I thinking early 90s there, something like that?
80s.
Late 80s?
Yeah, 80s,
yeah, I would say mid-80s, would it be, Lee?
80s. March the 16th, 1987.
Crikey.
Wow, that's
there you
some
go.
memory. Yeah.
It's one for the diary.
But you've obviously not had a paper round then.
I've still
you're looking good on it.
I've still got the letter.
Have you?
Yeah, because I wanted to be a videographer, not a graphic designer or a photographer. And I went to do the interview because my mum sent me to it. And I remember looking through the window, and I remember Elaine saying, "What are you looking at?" I said, "I'm looking at the lorries." And she says, "Well, are you wanting this job?" I said, "No, I want to be a videographer or a photographer." And I remember getting the letter through at the door, and my mum was like, opening it. I'm thinking, "Yeah, I failed this," and it said I got the job. I just thought,
you couldn't comprehend it.
I just couldn't work it out, but it honestly was brilliant. And I was always into computers, so when the Macintosh came in, I was in my element. I loved it, and that's when you probably might not even remember it. But Paul had come back. There was only one machine. You had it at the end of the desk, and I had to go on at at lunchtime when Paul was out, and I'd come back and I'd done something. He said, "Oh, a bit of a MacMaster," so that's where it comes from.
That stuck.
And it was
So what computer did you have before that? Did you have a VIC-20 or Commodore 64? Or?
I had loads. I had a ZX Spectrum, a Commodore 64, Acorn Electro. I was a bit of a spoiled kid.
Yeah.
Commodore C16.
Wow. Right.
All sorts, really.
Yeah.
But always wanted. I loved. I even got. You might not remember this. I had chicken pox that I cut off my stepson when I was at the Chad, and Paul brought me a Mac up so I could do some work at home.
Wow.
I was a worker.
Work from home.
So
those days.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I thought this was invented in COVID.
No, it was invented in chicken
been there
pox.
all this
The
time.
chicken pox. Yeah.
Chicken pox in 1987.
Yeah.
But the design world, which is really where Lee and I come from, has changed dramatically since then. And back in the day, before then, I didn't have a computer at all. So the Mac was the first thing that I'd ever looked at. But you're designing things, and then you've got to make printing plates to go and print stuff. So we used to use this thing, which you remember, Letraset. Do you remember that stuff? And you're literally rubbing away, with the pen on a thing. And design took such a long time, and it was a very hard job to be creative, because if you spent a load of time doing this with your Letraset and then it didn't look right,
You'd start again.
start again. When Macs came in, you've got that instant delete, Alt, Shift, whatever it is, Lee, you'll know what it is. And you can just start again within an instant, and it's there. Plus, you've got all your fonts and everything. So it was a revelation, and I'm proud that I was one of the first in the UK to start using them. And then Lee, took over, and then the entire department, probably within a year after you we started to put them in everywhere, didn't we?
Yeah.
So then it became you've got to have some experience of Mac, or at least computer generated design, before we would take you on.
Yeah.
And now, Lee's got out of the industry. I'm still in it. I don't design anything now. I've moved on to different things, but still in the creative industry. And Mac and PC, you can do just about everything on them now. There's nothing that you need to do manually now that we used to do.
Yeah, it amazes me when I'm watching, Harry behind the camera, just watching him editing, and I'm like, it's above my pay grade, that.
The problem that we had, and commercially, because I got my own company, and you're always battling against new things on the block, is they became affordable to the guy that probably used to work for me, quite easily, and they go and buy one and sit at the back bedroom and make a very bad job of design. But it cut us out. They were trying to run commercial companies out the market, but there was so much bad non-creative design around, and our area was always advertising. So basically you're not creating stuff to make it look pretty, you're creating stuff to try and sell something to somebody. So I would say late 80s into mid 90s were a real bad time for design because of the affordability of Macs that people could do. I think it's leveled out quite a lot now. Still happens, doesn't it, Lee? But the world's got so competitive. But Lee's out of it now, and it's you're doing this, which is still creative.
Yeah, still using Apple Mac, still creative, and I still do my thumbnail design. And some people, I get people saying, "Oh, it's clickbait or whatever," and it comes from the advertising in me and with the media, because I always say, if you could have the best movie in the world, you could have the best acting, the best storyline, but if it's got a terrible poster and a terrible name to it, nobody's going to go and watch it. So the advertising part of me still works within the YouTube part and the creative.
I think
part.
I've mentioned on a previous podcast way back. I remember watching Matt Armstrong, and he said he would spend a day to get the car off a ramp, to get it outside, just to set up the perfect thumbnail.
Yeah, because
take a shot.
Yeah.
And take it all back to bits again and put it back on the ramp.
But without the
Just to
thumbnail
get that shot.
or the
You
title,
haven't got any viewers.
you haven't got the viewers, and it can. And I've done a thumbnail and a title before, and it's got hardly any views, and then I've changed it, and then you just see the views start to increase. So it does. Design there is a big thing, and I despise when I see everybody now using AI as a thumbnail. and I'm not totally against AI. Use it as a tool, as part of the design. So sometimes I'll do a thumbnail and I've got a shadow there or whatever, and I think rather than using Photoshop, don't change anything else, just remove that shadow and make the lighting a little bit better. Use it as a tool, but yeah, AI drives me nuts.
Have you downloaded the Drive Life app? It's the ultimate social media for petrolheads. Discover events, document your automotive journey, and share photos and videos along the way. Download the app today, free of charge. It's available on the Google and Apple stores. I don't mind some stuff that's generated on AI, if that's what it's meant to be. But when you see companies using it to advertise on, you just think, hang on a minute, that's, you're skimping on your advertising.
It's getting to the point where it needs policing.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I do through my agency now is targeted television, TV advertising. And you target the audience, so you're not going widespread across the UK or any massive region. You're going to the people that particularly want to see it. The problem with that has always been you've got to produce that TV advert, which means getting cameras out, getting people out, which is expensive. So what is now happening is we've got the main channels are now providing AI-generated adverts, and they're giving them to us as advertising agencies to say, do you want to go and approach your client with this? Mm-hmm. And the cost is nothing. Mm-hmm. Now, the problem with that is basically it scrapes a website of whatever the client might do and puts together something. It's dreadful in its first instance, but then obviously we can go in and say, no, that's wrong. So we can change it. So it's moved on for us in the advertising world in quite a good way. When you're getting into your massive brands that are, the room for creativity in the AI as into what we would think about is what's the hook, what's the USP on this. It doesn't think about that, but you can edit it in. But it does open the door for a lot of brands now that would never even have been able to go on TV and do it. So like your sponsors and people that advertise on your channel, all of a sudden, it becomes affordable because the production cost element has more or less dropped out of it. Where it'll go, I don't know. But like I said, it'll need policing. It will heavily need policing as we move forward.
So on a sort of similar vein, I noticed on one of your last videos you put out, you were talking about how the government now are hammering YouTube to promote the main TV channels, which is going to put all the small production guys, a lot of them out of business, I guess.
I feel really strongly about this because
I'm with you.
I was a fan of the BBC many years ago. Now I'm not. And YouTube put up a comment on there saying that the government are trying to push smaller creators like myself down the list. So if you subscribe to me, you won't see me there anymore. You will see the BBC, TV programs from the BBC, Channel 4, because less and less people are paying the TV license. They're trying another way around it.
Does that not tell you something?
It tells me that people don't want the BBC.
Or the content.
The content.
The content people want on there, people will watch it.
Which is a shame, because if you look back, the BBC, when...
Some phenomenal things.
Yeah, Top Gear, Clarkson, Hammond, May at the time. For me, I don't know whether your viewers will be able to answer this one, Top Gear was far superior to the Grand Tour, which had more budget. I still thought Top Gear was better with M3 in it than when they went to the Grand Tour. And they produced some great stuff. But now, I think as time's moved on, I don't think they've moved on. I think maybe go subscription-based or something, but don't start telling people, you've got to pay for this and that. And
it is almost like a communist state, rather than giving people the choice. We're country of free speech. Let people make the choice. But we're not, like you say, but if you want to subscribe to it, fine, subscribe to the BBC.
In another way, and I have to say this, I'm obviously known for having a Porsche Taycan electric car. That's one of all my most viewed videos. And again, the government and the EU are guilty of decimating the European car industry. Porsche, they're having financial troubles, and because they're saying 2030 you can't, selling in brand new internal combustion engine cars. So again, they're trying to control that. Now, if you want an electric car, and electric cars are great in certain scenarios, but don't say you cannot drive a petrol car or a diesel car. You know, it's wrong. There should be a choice.
I think there's nothing you're going to be sure of getting people's backs up by telling them they can't have something or can't do something.
If they'd have just brought out electric cars and let people decide, there would have been none of this. It would have been fine. They probably would have sold more electric cars.
One of my, I'm going slightly off tangent now, but one of my big gripes with electric cars is, why do they have to make them look different? Why do they have to put stupid space-aged wheels on and make them look like cornflake boxes stuck on them? Why do they have to look different? Well, they're the same car, just with a different engine.
If you look at Ford, right? If you look at Ford, the Ford Capri, it was a classic car. You'd got the professionals, you know, Bodie and Doyle crashing through empty cardboard boxes, changing the gear, and you got the sound of the engine. And you got the name, the Capri, right? And they go, we're going to make an electric Capri, right? See, your face says it all. Right?
Making me
they bring out something that just looks
horrible,
awful.
Absolutely, it's embarrassment.
And MG.
Yeah, MG.
Another example of a classic, you know, British car, and it's just one of the bland cars that come out.
Horrible things.
I'll tell you, the only people who's got it right is Renault with the Renault 5.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they've kept that design.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
And I think it's the
quirky.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on this. I think it's one of the most, or the most popular electric car.
Is it?
Or something. You quote me that on the comments or whatever. And I drove it, and it's great. It puts a smile on your face.
Yeah.
I think Porsche did well with the Taycan. The initial Taycan, the concept was the Mission E. And if you look at the Mission E, concept cars never look like what they do when they come out. But the Taycan came out, and I thought, that actually looks
quite similar.
They did really well, but I watched Ben Collins Stig on a podcast the other night, and he had one. He loved the car. He said, but everything went wrong with it. They didn't implement it right. They brought it out really early, and it's like the first generation of an iPhone. And now I'm on my third Taycan now, and they've got better. They've got a lot better, and it's a nice looking car. I thought the first one was better. They've toned it down a little bit now.
As in speed-wise,
exhilaration-wise? Faster. It's faster than the new one, more range. But they've just taken out all the space-age lights, and it doesn't look quite... I don't personally think, from a design point of view, that it looks quite as nice as the first one.
So you're of that design mentality. I'd get in something that resembles a cardboard box inside, as long as it ticked the handling, speed, braking boxes to me. I'm not really, as long as it's got a comfy seat. I'm more of that ilk, but yeah.
Do you know, might have to edit some of this out, but I have a massive thing against the EU governments. The EU, for instance, all the stuff that they put on cars, the safety devices, they're not safety devices.
They're dangerous.
There was a car parked there. I'm driving up to it to turn over, and my car slammed its brakes on with all these audio. And I thought, what's going on? Obstacle collision. I thought, well, I'm not going to collide into it. Yet the guy behind me had to slam his brakes on. And, you know, and then your lane guidance thing.
The other day...
You have to turn off.
I had a driving instructor, so I had a student driving. We're in a car park. Luckily, nobody else in there. And there was a bush with like a branch hanging out of a bush. Nothing, you know, just some little floppy leaves. I was driving along, next thing, beep, 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 boom. And it did an emergency stop. She was screaming. She didn't know what the hell had happened.
Yeah.
And it was just a little branch hanging over. You know, you're like, why has it just done that?
It's garbage that the EU comes out with. I went on one of my videos past the EU shouting abuse out the window at the EU officers in...
I find that hard to believe.
Where's the officers? I can't think now. It was in Belgium.
Brussels.
Bottle tops that are connected to the top of bottles.
Oh,
nobody asked for that. No. Nobody needs it. I tear them off, then you end up cutting your lip.
Yeah.
And then cookie pop-up warnings. Nobody wants that. It just ruins websites, and it's always the EU that does it. Now they've decimated the car industry. Well done, EU.
I'll be honest with you, I've said all along from the word go, I don't think we will be internal combustion engines only by 2030, 2035, whatever the year was.
They change it, don't they?
I think it's going to get pushed on and on.
Hopefully.
I think it will, and I think the interest as well in noisy, gutsy cars will increase.
Yeah.
As we know, Jim, we do the e-bike on board.
Yeah, people like loud cars.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
For a purpose.
Yeah.
I'm not saying electric cars haven't got the place.
No.
But when you're on a car trip with the roof down, you want to hear an engine.
Yeah.
You drive a beautiful Aston, absolutely phenomenal sounding V8.
I've never ever put the radio on.
Exactly.
I don't actually know if it works. It might just be a panel that looks like a radio.
You don't need to
for all I
though,
know.
because you're listening to those
what's
chimneys
going on.
coming out the back.
Yeah.
You have your radio on a lot?
I like to listen to the sound of my washing machine. It's comical. It's like
On full spin.
it's just, it's not. There's nothing to it. There's no soul or anything like that at all. Interestingly enough, we were talking off camera about Boxsters earlier on. I think I've had about 8 Boxsters from the flat 6 that they had. Then they went to the 4-cylinder and put the turbo on it, which sounded like a Subaru. It lost it then, and now set to come out in 2027 late, early 2028 is the Boxster Electric. But it's going to have the sound of an engine, and you're going to be able to change gear because it's going to be piped throughout speakers and stuff, and it will change gear like a real car. But
the Ferrari,
what was that?
I have no idea. It's some old Mondeo that they put some battery in or
I
something.
think that's
It's
a massive
awful
mistake
looking
by
thing.
Ferrari. I think it's a huge mistake.
You know who designed it?
Go on.
Johnny Ive, Apple.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the Apple car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Do everyone's going, that's a terrible car. If that was nothing to do with Ferrari.
If it had an Apple badge
If it had an Apple badge on it, it would have sold. People have gone, wow, yeah, it's an Apple car. But because it's a Ferrari, it looks nothing like it. Now, if you look at Porsche, and they brought out the Taycan or Taycan, or I never know what to call it, it looks like a Porsche. So they can do it. They could have made a Ferrari that looked a superb car.
So going back to what I was saying earlier, why do manufacturers make cars look electric? And Porsche haven't done that with the Taycan. It looks like a car.
It looks a beautiful car.
It's an head turn.
People who don't know that's an electric.
Yeah.
No. I think Ferrari's gone, we don't, this is just my thought, by the way, just to protect me legally. I think Ferrari's gone, we don't want to make an electric car, they're rubbish. Let's make something look really bad. There we go, we've done it, because they have to do it. So we've done it, there you go.
Move on.
Yeah.
But with Jaguar now.
If that's correct, well done, Ferrari. Yeah.
Jaguar. So I went down to an event at Bicester, and it was a Jaguar day. Chris Harris was there. He was the host of it all. Yeah. But they got the concept car there that's coming out. And my son works for Jaguar in the design department. And I said, because it looks stunning when you look at that concept car. And I said, how different will it be? Well, they've got cars now with camouflage all over them. And you can see, actually, they've kept quite a bit, like what you were saying about the Porsche. They've kept quite a lot to that original concept. And I think that's certainly going to be an head turner. Whether it'll sell units or not, I have no idea. But it'll be an head turner. It'll have all the tech, it'll have everything on it. It'll be a beautiful looking car. But is the longevity there with it? And, where will it be? In 10 years' time, what will it be on the second-hand market? Will the desirability be there? Whereas now, we'll go and buy a 10-year-old Aston or something because you want one, because it's got everything there that was there, since they invented engines and everything. So I don't know, is there that thing with, will we be buying it because the sound system that sounds like an engine in 10 years' time was really good? Doubt it, really.
No, 100% no. I think the big negativity about second-hand electric cars is the battery life, the longevity of the battery.
Yeah.
And obviously battery technology is coming on at a rapid rate of knots. But would you go buy a second-hand Gen 1 Taycan now? Just based on what you know, battery-wise?
Do you know, out of all the Taycans that I've had, I really, really liked my Gen 1. I liked the look of it. And everything that was wrong with it, whoever bought that car got a really good car because I replaced everything on it. In fact, I think it was a brand new car by the end of it. It was just everything was new. But it was
triggers brew.
But funnily enough, here's a funny story for you. This is actually a true story. So I took my car back in to Porsche Nottingham, and they looked after me and got me out of it. But I advertised that it was going back to Nottingham, and one of my viewers, Martin, rung me from Porsche Nottingham. He said, one of your viewers has rung to ask if he can buy the car, but can you sign it as the MacMaster? Now, first of all, I haven't got a signature for the MacMaster because it's just an online.
On a Mac.
It's just an online.
So, I don't want to be rude, but can you actually write? Because surely everything you've done is on the computer.
I'm just a robot. Yeah. He wanted me to sign it, and he wanted it lacquering. You couldn't write this.
Okay.
But he couldn't drive. Now he went through all this, and he wanted it for he had a car museum or something in his house. He must have been very rich. But he wanted the batteries removing from the car. That was the only stipulation. Porsche said, we're not removing the batteries, otherwise they would have. I said, yeah, I'll sign it.
They're not removed?
I've no idea. They just said they wouldn't remove the
Well, if
batteries.
it's not going to be used, why keep them?
Yeah, he just wanted to put it in his thing, which is fine. But whoever got that car, I would love to know who got that car.
Oh,
If you're out there.
Yeah, if you're out there, they got a really good car. And I did ask Porsche Nottingham. They couldn't tell me for data protection, but the guy who bought it did watch the videos, and he bought it. So so if you're watching, get in touch. Come on, let's do a John O'Groats to Land's End against the new Gen 2.
Yeah, that'd be a good video.
It was a great car. So would I have the Gen 1? It depends if it's had all the stuff ironed out of it, because you would get a good deal.
Looking for your new favourite t-shirt or hoodie? Head to the Drive Life store and discover a range of automotive-inspired clothing. Use the link in the show notes below and enter podcast 10 at checkout for 10% off.
That car was 120 grand new.
And what are they going for now?
That would go for about 20 odd grand.
Crikey.
So
How long ago?
got the producer laughing over it.
How long ago was that? How old?
That was about 4 years ago. So it's lost quite a bit. It was.
So it's lost a house.
It's never going to lose that much again, is it? Because it's not worth that much.
So
That's incredible.
Plateaued out, and it did all right. I actually, it was, because I did that many, I slated it really to start with. It was just showing the downfalls of electric cars. And at that point in time, the infrastructure wasn't there, and it has come on leaps and bounds. The infrastructure has come on.
Well, it's had to do, hasn't it?
Yeah, and the technology with the cars as well, the time it takes to charge them has come along as well. And at that point in time, it wasn't there. Porsche Nottingham gave me this car. I got in it. I didn't even know what to do with it. I drove it out thinking, how am I going to charge it? How do I pay for the charging? And it was that put me out there, and I thought this, and I documented it all. And Porsche UK, they're probably watching this because they still watch all my stuff apparently. They were concerned of me giving it a bad name. The car itself, I never said the car wasn't any good. I said it just had its drawbacks. And it was all the teething problems that I had with it that got all the views from it. But it has changed now, and I don't make as many electric car videos because there's not really anything to say. I get in it, I charge it, it works.
Do you find with Porsche though, just the build quality is by far superior on other brands? You know, Alec, our friend who's been on the podcast previously, he's a big Alfa fan through and through. His dad was an Alfa dealer when he was a kid, and he's had Alfas multiple. And he didn't like Porsches because they were too good. They never broke, they never did anything wrong. And I lent him my Boxster, and he broke my roof. And from that day on, he loved it.
Yeah.
Because it had a fault. Never lent him anything again. But
I'll get slated from Porsche for this, but there we go. I don't think that the Taycan, I don't think the build quality is as good as the 911s and the Boxster.
Is it not?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know the answer to this. Are they made in the same factory? Are they made in the same place?
I don't know. I will say, just to cover myself, I think the Gen 2 is better, but the Gen 1, I had the headlights go on it. I had the plastic in the back of the tail light started cracking. Even on the Gen 2, that started happening. So it was like they were using, and I'm not saying that they are, just to cover myself.
Just your take.
It doesn't feel as though they're using German parts, and it doesn't have that feel to it. It's still a great car, but I just feel like there's just not quite as you get in a 911 and it just feels a different car.
I drove Lee's, I think it was your last one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, it felt pretty solid. I was quite happy with it. And then I've just had a look at the one that Lee's got now. I stuck my head in it, but it all looks absolutely bang on. The leather's nice, everything's right in it. So I didn't instantly get that impression, but then again, I've not driven this one. But the other one I drove, I thought were pretty good, to be honest. So I'm assuming that they've improved and taken on board any, issues that they had. I would like to think that it is quite Porsche still to drive.
It drives like a Porsche.
Yeah.
The new one that I've got is a four-wheel drive, four-wheel steering, and it drives superb. I mean, for a car that weighs 2 ton or something, or it drives superb. I think, my opinion, and I think the Porsche Taycan is the ultimate electric car. I don't think there is a better electric car. If you can afford, a Taycan and you want an electric car, go and get a Taycan. The new, I haven't driven it, and I wouldn't buy one because I don't like big four-wheel drives. But the new Cayenne electric is incredibly fast. It's ridiculous.
I know we were having a chat earlier. I went in a Cayenne hybrid, the top end one. That was ridiculously quick.
Yeah.
Handled superbly.
But
yeah, and it was like being sat in an armchair.
Why though? Because I had one in between this. I had the Gen 2, an ice grey. It was a rear-wheel drive. It wasn't the S. It was, as my mate calls it, the poverty model, even though it was still 100 grand. And it got 460 miles of range out of it. It was 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds or something.
Is that range what I call sensible driving, as in normal driving, trying to be economical everywhere?
I don't drive fast, just normal driving. And it was great because I thought, well, I can go from Leeds to the Lake District, down to Mansfield, back to Leeds, and I was not having to charge it up. Now I've got this new one, which I didn't really plan on getting. I've told you why I've done it off camera, and all I'll say on camera is that Porsche Nottingham really looked after me on a deal on it. You know what deal it was. And they said, can we give you this four-wheel drive one? And I said, no. But then they said something to me, and I said, well, I'll give it here then. But it gets less. It's faster, it's four-wheel drive, but it does 340 miles instead of 460 miles.
Less.
Isn't it? Yeah. 35%
Big chunk.
Yeah.
You think with technology improving, it'd almost be similar or just slightly under.
But you've got two motors. I think I'm not technical on cars, the electric cars. I think the one I had I'd got one motor on it. Is it something? But this one's got two or whatever. It's four-wheel drive. It's faster. It's ridiculously fast.
And I suppose with the extra motors, it's going to use extra power. You're going to have extra weight.
So
everything's going to have a knock on.
It gets a lot less, but
yeah,
I'd rather have my other one back. Yeah. To be honest,
interesting. Just listening to you there, Lee. But everybody always remembers the first car, the first one. Do you think you'll always remember your first electric car?
Yeah.
You see, because you'd never had one before, and this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the best car I ever had?
Go on.
I get called a hypocrite for this, but the first Porsche Taycan I had, it was great. I loved it. Because I had, I think it's also stories that you do. I drove to Benidorm in it. I drove from John O'Groats to Land's End in it. I drove all over the place in it, making videos in it, and I learnt about them.
We've said this a lot on the podcast previously with other guests. it's all about the adventures.
Yeah.
It's about the
Yeah.
journey. It's
The memories that
not the
you create.
destination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All about the people along the way.
It was.
The foibles, the faults with it, the mishaps. They're the things you remember and reminisce about. Do you remember?
And Supercar Blondie got loads of stories out of it. My car was all over Supercar Blondie's website all the time. It was a really well-known car.
Yeah.
The late Quentin Wilson, God bless him, I actually liked him. I was on an interview on radio, BBC Radio, and he said...
What was the moniker he gave you?
He gave me the nut job off of YouTube. That's what he called me, the nut job off of
that from
YouTube.
Quentin?
So it was interesting because it got so much talk. Pardon the pun.
See what he did
There
there.
we go. People were talking about it. Chris Harris was on Joe Rogan, and he mentioned a guy who lost 100 grand on an electric car, Porsche Taycan, and it was me who was talking about because the car was a well-known car. I loved it. It was great. It was brilliant. And then a lot of other YouTube channels started doing things about electric cars, but there was other YouTube channels taking the mickey out of me as well, having a joke and calling me names, the evangelists. And I met one, and I've met a couple of them actually, and they're really, really nice, even though I gave the evangelists you might have to dub some of this out, I don't know, but I used to say the ultimate evangelist was somebody who cuts the crusts off the sandwiches. They eat Battenberg. They basically they wear beige trousers that have got fluff on them and stuff. And their living rooms will slightly smell of cat urine or whatever. That's the evangelist. And what I was charging as well, the positive side of electric cars. Because mine used to take a long time to charge, the initial one, an hour, I actually got to appreciate the shape of crisps. Used to be able to look at the crisps.
Found a whole new hobby.
Yeah, you get to do jigsaws, to taste different coffees. And
So could you tell me which brand of crisps are served at different service stations the length and breadth of the UK?
Probably, yeah.
There's a whole new video there for you.
I also used to say, because they hated it, I used to say that the evangelists, people who loved electric cars, were into, I'm not going to say the word, but they'd go down to, Blidworth Bottoms and flash the headlights at other people,
In a lay-by.
In a lay-by, and they'd also throw the keys into a bowl. That's the kind of hobbies that they had. And they were always single. They'd never had a girlfriend or a wife, and if they did, it was probably the cousin. So that's your electric car drive. Got to produce a little bit.
You got some editing to do here, haven't you? Yeah. You thought I was bad.
Yeah. I said all this on my YouTube channel.
It's already out there.
None of it got banned. You're all right.
Yeah.
YouTube is fine with it. Yeah.
YouTube channel's safe.
But they fund the electric car purchase through the money they make out of the Six Finger Glove Factory.
Right, let's leave that one there.
Right. Moving swiftly on.
Swiftly. So before your first Taycan, what did you have before that? Did you enjoy it as much?
I had, in between, I've actually documented picking these up, I had a Porsche Macan Turbo S. Hated it.
Really?
Absolutely hated it. Yeah, I had it about 2 months. And before that, I had a Boxster, a blue Boxster, that was in a lot of my videos.
718?
Yeah, the 718 Boxster. It was blue. I don't think that one was the S. I've had the S. I absolutely loved it, and I'd put that joint with my first Taycan because I did a lot of videos with my mum in them, and my mum always used to have to have a cushion to put on the passenger seat to lift her up. And lift her into the car and have a stick down the side, and we'd drive around in it. And at the time, I was working for, I was doing YouTube, but I was doing corporate videos for Northcliffe and the Daily Mail group, Daily Mirror group for food awards and business awards, and I enjoyed that because I wasn't in front of the camera, and I'd drive around in that car, and it was great. I loved it. And I'd had Boxsters before that. I'd had M3s, an M3 convertible. The worst handling car I've ever had. It was terrible.
Really?
It was fast.
46?
I I couldn't. Do you know what? I couldn't tell you.
What sort of year?
It was 2006, 2005, 2006.
What reg would be that?
Oh, God, it was. I got my.
Don't know. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my favourite car. I'd always had Boxsters. I had a Range Rover for 24 hours, lost £2,000 and took it back. I hated it. Range Rover Sport, it was awful. I lost £2,000 on it and took it back. I've had loads of cars. I had my first car was a Nissan Micra, which I drove to the Chad in. And interestingly enough, going off piste here, I don't know whether you remember this. So it was my first car, this Nissan Micra, 1 litre it was, red. And I polished it so many times and I loved it. My parents bought it me. And I had to park it in a car park at the Chad, but they had an overflow car park. And there was a lot of crime. Now, who wants to nick it? Looking back, who would want to nick a Nissan Micra? I'd got all these locking things on it. And the artists at the Chad, I think it was Andy, he drew a cartoon of these turrets with, my Nissan Micra there and stuff. And
protecting your car.
Yeah, protecting my car. And I'd have one of them auto lock handbrake things on, and locking wheel nuts and this alarm thing that squealed inside.
Did it ever get stolen?
No, who wants to steal that?
It worked then. It worked. Yeah. How do you know? Yeah. If he hadn't done it, it might not be there.
But I went in, I had the first BMW I had was a 320 diesel. And then I went off the rails a bit and I had a bit of a midlife crisis. And I've said this on other videos. I ended up leaving my ex-wife, and who's still very good friends with me. And going off, and I was doing really well at the time as a graphic designer for myself, and I went and bought without even looking at it, from Park Lane in London. I don't know why I did this. I'm buying a BMW from Park Lane BMW, and it was a 330 CI Sport convertible BMW, and it was brilliant. Great fun. Really enjoyed that.
Cars.
I enjoyed that more than the M3.
Right. I can believe it.
Which obviously wasn't as fast, but it sounded great. Yeah. It was great fun. And I remember I must have looked an absolute prat in it, driving through London, when you could drive around through London without all the speed cameras, with 50 Cent playing and
roof
down with my friend in the passenger seat. And she was loving it. And I'd got my arm on it and my elbow on it, playing this, I've still got a photograph of me doing that somewhere. And I just look back now and think...
Life don't get better than that, does it?
You must be right, Bradley. But can you imagine doing that, though, in an electric car?
No.
Yeah, driving down with no sound.
With your simulated sound.
With your simulated
and everybody
sound. Yeah, just no, it doesn't work, does it?
No, I don't get it.
I feel sorry in many ways for the younger generation. My little lad's 6, and he loves cars. He does love Taycans, actually, because I think it's because I've got one, and he's got little models of it. But when he drives his cars around, he still makes that noise, that... What are you going to do? It's not.
Yeah.
You got some strange
well, my
friends.
grandson's 4, exactly the same. Car mad, he's going to be. He comes from a petrolhead family, but yeah, he does. He makes the noise. Yeah, but interesting that, isn't it?
So buy him a toy Tesla. That's genuine. It's an experiment.
I'll try
buy him a toy Tesla, give him it, and see what he does. Probably just go put it in the back. Not one of those.
Teslas. I mean Teslas.
Let's leave it there.
Yeah.
There's no further comments to be made. I don't think.
No, there isn't.
Can I just ask a quick question though, Lee? Just going back to your Micra.
Yeah.
If that car was still there somewhere,
I'd buy it.
Would you buy it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
I'd buy my first car. I mean, mine will resemble a Weetabix now, but
go on. What was it?
it was a beautiful thing. Cortina GXL Mark III. Stunning.
Mine was Mark II Escort.
Was it? Yeah. It was. I absolutely loved it because in the day, my age group, they were all buying Escorts, Fiestas, and stuff like that. I couldn't afford one really, but the Cortinas, because they were basically ex-rep cars or whatever, they were a lot cheaper. But I remember it was 8 years old when I got it. Well, you go and buy an 8-year-old car now and it will look brand new. This one, I remember a policeman coming up to me in, I can't remember where I was, probably in Mansfield somewhere. And it was white, and you might have noticed I like white cars, but it was white, but it had got an awful lot of brown sort of tinges coming through. And so I possibly looked like, why is he nicked this Cortina, when he could have nicked a Fiesta or something like that, because it's covered in rust. So this copper came up and he was going to look at the tax disc on the thing. Yep. And he leant on the wing and he went through it. And I were really cheesed off because that's where the aerial was.
They brought your radio.
So he brought me radio. So I'm thinking, have I got a case here or not? But to be fair to him, he did say, look, come on, you need to cover that hole up. And, he's not going to get through. Yeah, he's not going to go through another MOT. This thing.
Put some tissue paper in it, a bit of fiberglass. Fine.
So me and my stepdad did that. We put a bit of porridge in and a bit of papier-mâché, and it looked
good. What we used to do.
Spray can.
Yeah.
But I would buy that car if it was there. I keep looking now, like you do, like, there's a GXL there, and that looks great. And then you think, but it's 45 grand.
Do you remember the plate?
Yeah, they are, because, a sorted out one.
Because the collectors...
Yeah, you can buy one that needs sorting, 5-6-ish.
But then you're going to spend 40 grand, a lot of headaches and a lot of weekends on it.
Yeah. But yes, I would get mine. You get yours. What about you, Jim? Would you get yours first car again?
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out to Escort. Yeah, I mean, what's not to like? It's,
Yeah.
Just, I mean, the heater didn't work in it. I used to borrow my dad's sheepskin coat in winter.
Yeah.
And I had an ice scraper on the inside.
Evangelists do that.
Yeah.
When they were in that battery.
Trousers with bits of fluff on.
I've got a question for you.
Go on.
You're a driving instructor.
Yep.
Where is it going for driving instructors? Because you've got electric cars coming in. You teach manual.
I do teach manual. Yeah.
Well, there aren't any gearboxes in electric cars. So where is the industry going?
A lot of instructors, when they are replacing their cars now, I would say, I'm going to pick a number out of thin air, 70% of them are going over to automatic. The students I get, one of the first questions I ask when they make an inquiry is it manual lessons you're looking for? Yes, it is. Why do you want to learn manual? Well, my dad says I've got to. And that is, again, probably 75% of students, parents say, you need to learn a manual because then you can drive everything. Yeah. And I've got a couple of students, one of which I've just had a conversation with this week. She said, my friend's got a test next week, but she's only learning in automatic, so that doesn't count. So there is, even, this is a 17-year-old girl saying this, there is that, I'm better than her because I can drive a manual.
What would your advice be?
I think drive a manual.
Yeah.
Both my kids have passed their tests in manuals.
Yeah.
When we're harking back now to cars that we remember and reminisce about, our kids in 30 years' time now going to look back and go, I'd really love to drive that. I can't. It's manual. Well,
it will exclude them from the supercar stuff if they ever get to the point where they can own them. Yeah. If they haven't ever driven one with a gear stick,
they're screwed.
It's
I completely get it. I mean, to me, learning to drive a manual car, you can jump in an automatic and drive it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
The other way around, not a chance. The hardest part, I think, of learning to drive is learning your clutch control and your gear changing. And I tell my students that. So look, we'll have the first lesson. All we're going to do is clutch work, just to get comfy with it.
Yeah.
By the time the 3 or 4 lessons in, I said, you're not thinking about your clutch now, are you? Oh, God, no. I'm concentrating on my steering and my junctions and my mirrors and,
Will there not be a point, though, where, obviously, if 2030 does happen, where there will be no point?
I think there'll always be a point because of the... let me put it another way. You're the wrong person to ask. I'm going to ask Paul this. When 2030 comes and you want to buy a new car, would you not buy it because you can only buy electric and you'd buy a second-hand one because you can buy an engine?
I'd buy a second-hand.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
The only way I would have an electric car is if it made sense economics to and from work commuting.
Yeah.
If I worked in the middle of Leeds, I could bring it home, charge it, off the solar or whatever, drive it to work. It's free transport. Yeah, but
I think hybrid is a reasonable answer
Yeah.
for me, and we talked about this earlier, didn't we, Lee? But I think the problem with hybrids is the electric part of it. You don't get very far on them anyway.
I'm going to throw this back another way. So I think you were on one of the car trips we did, and I went with a guy, and he had an SLK Merc, and it was a diesel. We did round the lakes in Italy.
Yeah.
And phenomenal car. He'd had it
Was
remarked.
that Tony?
Tony had one as well. Ian went with Tony in the black one.
Yeah.
I went with Steve in the white one.
Right.
So there were two identical cars.
I remember it, yeah.
But Steve had it remapped. He'd put bigger brakes on it. It was a very, very sorted car. It was quick as hell, but it was turbo diesel, and it didn't make a noise. And there was something missing on that trip. There was just something didn't fulfilled, you know. And I think part and parcel of doing a trip like that, you need that noise. I mean, Harry will tell you, we did a trip in the Pyrenees last September with our sister company, Supercar UK, and there were 3 Lambos on it. And to drive through a valley in the Pyrenees with Lambos on full song, it just makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck.
I mean, again, Jim and I have been on a lot of drives together throughout Europe, and there is nothing that gets the hairs going on you. Not on my head because I've got very wide parties. You probably noticed, but
Because you've got a soft top car.
Yes, yeah. Is when you're in them long tunnels and you get these engines going, you realise that you've actually got something under your foot that makes.
So for those who've not been on a car trip like this, you'll come to a tunnel, everybody slows down, and then the first person will give it the beans, up to the speed limit.
Yeah.
Next person, and it is just like an orchestra. And the amount of times you get Joe Public in the tunnel, come out the other side and they're going,
yeah, they are. They're applauding you.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Because it's that.
Yeah.
The whole theatre of it. It's part and parcel of the feeling and the emotion.
I can hear all the evangelists going now, you're breathing all them fumes in.
Don't do me any harm. A quick thank you to the Motorist for hosting us as always. To find their calendar of car meets, events and quizzes, head to the link in the show notes below. That leads me on to talking about car trips. We've been discussing previously about you coming on a car trip with your Taycan.
Yep.
Now we're going to have to think about this very carefully, how to tailor a trip to suit an electric car. Now, I know we ran one, a very short trip, a couple of months ago, was it now, in Wales?
Wales is terrible for charging.
Well, we did a one-night trip, so a 2-day trip, and 2 lads turned up in the electric Alpines and had a whale of a time, loved it. But we sort of tailored the trip knowing they were coming in electric cars. So we are potentially looking at, hopefully you guys will come along and do a trip with us, and you can film off the back of it showing how an electric car fits in a trip of today's ilk with petrol engine cars. Are we going to have to tailor more trips in the future to cater for electric cars?
Potentially, I think so.
Well, as the second Taycan I had, so that did about 460 to 480 miles of range. There are EVs now that they're working on that will go like 900 miles of range. I think some might be out there. Evangelists tell us, I'm sure you'll tell us. I think you'll find that the such and such EV 9000 SX gets 800. That's how they talk, isn't it? I think you'll find. They always say that. I think you'll find. But there are let's be advanced. Electric cars are going to get the range that'll outdo a petrol car, but and I always see the evangelists, the petrolheads say, I can drive from John O'Groats to Land's End without even filling up or whatever. You've got to get out of the car to have a we at some time.
I was just going to say, so doing a trip like this, if we were at the hotels, so we're charging on an evening,
yeah.
where are you going to stop during the day? Because we always, usually about every 100, 120 miles, we'll stop, because you have to for the McLarens and the Astons, because they've run out at that point. We'll get an ice cream, we'll go to the loo, not necessarily in that order, but we have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, quick chat.
Yeah.
Back in, off we go again.
It's a shame I haven't got the last ice grey one I had, because it wouldn't really be an issue, because I'd be going nearly 500 miles without even charging.
And is that driving it spiritedly?
Just driving it normally. I'm not going at 56 miles an hour everywhere. I'm driving to the speed limit. Yeah, and it got that.
And it does that range.
Yeah.
If Lee and I do it together, then I will drive it with a little bit of attitude.
He'll drive it. Yeah, he'll be
because
I like that word, attitude.
Because obviously, having been used to doing these sort of things, I want to understand what it actually does and what it feels like
in the real world.
Yeah. So that'd be interesting to see if the mileage drops down. But let's be fair, the mileage drops down per gallon in the petrol ones.
Well, what I was going to say is we, as SCUK, run some day trips or morning drives, evening drives. Why not come along on one of those and just see how it fares?
On
one of those. There is actually a lad comes along in an i8.
Oh yeah.
And
you don't see many of them now, do you?
He's just had a body kit put on it, actually.
Really?
It looks amazing.
Yeah. He still got them funny thin wheels.
Well, I don't think so.
It was the i8 with the funny
It's the
thin
i8
wheels.
I'm thinking about, isn't it? Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I'm thinking of something else, but anyway.
Oh, yeah, the 1.3 litre, but hybrid.
Oh, I don't know. We're probably on a different car, but
I
remember
think yeah.
there was something
not
behind,
thin
looked
wheels.
stunning, but then it got these little thin wheels, which when he got behind it, it looked like it had got four
That's
punctures.
Sinclair C5 you're thinking of.
Yeah, it looks like they've put the emergency wheel on all four corners. But anyway, still a great looking car, and I forgot about them. Not seen one for a long, long time.
Yeah.
There is so much misinformation with electric cars, and it needs to. But you got for and against. It should be there's people in either camp, isn't there? There's the pro EV and there's the people who hate EV. And when I got my second EV, it was interesting. I lost 500 subscribers overnight by getting a new EV, my second EV. But I gained over the length of time over 1,000 subscribers. And it was interesting. Some people would go, hypocrite, you've got another one, hypocrite. But there was a lot of people saying they were interested, even though they didn't like electric cars, to see how the Gen 1 performed to the Gen 2. And I've done a few videos. I should do the John O'Groats to Land's End again. There's just nothing to moan about it. It charges twice as fast as my last car.
Well, here's an idea. Why don't you both do it in cars? And you can see how the petrol version compares to
I think that was one of the original ideas anyway, wasn't it? Before we spoke to you about the NC500, Lee and I were going to go, I'm going to take mine, we're going to take his, and just see who got to the hotel first, really.
I know which should be cheapest.
Yeah, definitely.
But time scale wise, I think
It's interesting with the price of charging. You get all the evangelists saying, I can charge. I could charge my car while I was asleep, and it only cost me £7.50 on whatever tariff.
You're going to do that in the Motorist service station,
or with my solar panels, and I sell my electricity back. They're all. I mean, good grief, these people are not wired up. It's all right if you can charge at home. The main thing is, right, we're talking. I've got a garage and a driveway, and I can park my car in the garage, and I've got a charger in there, which is fine. But what about people who haven't got a garage, haven't got a driveway? We haven't all got that luxury.
awful lot of those.
And there's a lot of people who haven't.
You're going to Leeds city centre, the amount of blocks of flats there are. And
then you are charging public
Where are you gonna
chargers,
charge that?
right?
Yeah.
If I charge my car on InstaVolt or GridServe, to get a full charge is over £100.
What?
Yeah, to get a full charge.
Compared to how much at home?
If I charge it at home, in my garage, on my tariff, to go from, say, 7 or 8% to 100%, probably about £7.
That's insane.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And a little bit cheaper now because I think the government's doing away with the VAT on electric.
Yeah.
So I'm benefiting from that. So probably £6 odd.
But the thing is, so the village where I live, which is near you, Jim, there's a guy who's got one of these Chinese
Boxes.
things that have come out, and he parks on the street, and it's it's a nice street and everything, but he's got this thing, and he's put a wire across the path, and one of the yellow things over the top. Well, he doesn't have any choice really, apart from buy a petrol car. But you think, well, does it? How many households are excluded anyway because of things like that? Which again is why hybrid possibly comes back into it, but. Yeah, I notice it every time, particularly when I'm coming back from the pub, because at least it's yellow. Yeah,
there are companies out there now that puts like a little, I don't know, what do you call it, trailway to put it in.
Yeah,
you can push it down.
Yeah,
so then you can lift it back up again. But the issue there is, I think you've got to go to the council to have it done because it's their pavement.
They'll need planning and all sorts of stuff.
Planning, so it's a nightmare if you live in a block of flats.
I have seen people who've strung it across.
Yeah.
And then tie-wrapped it to a lamppost and run it down the lamppost.
But there's also...
But you wouldn't do that in a city particular, would you? Because if you got a lot of footfall, a lot of people open
swinging on it.
Doing all sorts.
You know they're nicking cables as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're cutting the cables off.
Yeah.
Junction 28, Swanwick, is it? Alfreton?
A38.
A38, yeah. There's a massive charging hub there that I use, Ionity. And all the cables have been cut off of it. Every one of them in the hotel because they sell them. So then you turn up and you cannot charge. So you're stuffed if you've not got
scrap metal at the minute is probably, I don't know if it's an all-time high, but it's very high.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed our locality here. People have been round and stolen all the metal road signs. You know, all the roadwork signs and diversions and everything. If you look, the signs are on the floor and all the frames have gone.
Yeah. They put in that spray on them. So if you cut the cables, it sprays, what is it? Smart water or whatever.
Yeah, it sticks to,
Yeah. Well, I've just said, if they're watching, just leave the cables live. That'll stop it.
So that's the problem when, you cut through if you cut through the communication cable first, it'll turn the power supply off. So when you cut it, there won't be any power in it. But yeah, I'm with you.
You don't leave the cables live. Obviously, you can't do that. But it's just out of hand. The whole thing doesn't work. And then you've got. I've spoken to somebody who works for the electricity board, and they've said if everybody went electric, the grid would not handle it. You think of the amount of power that they're taking.
Since my brother-in-law. He lives in New Zealand, but he has a company that manufacture overhead power lines and things like that. And his take on it, anybody mentions it, he just laughs. He said it's just not possible.
Yeah.
It just will never, ever happen. There isn't the infrastructure to be able to do it in any country.
But this is the government, again, putting this in place without even thinking about it. You look at Rachel Thieves when she brought in so many pence per mile for electric cars. How are you going to implement it? Oh, well, we'll do it on the MOT. Yeah, but unless it's a 4-year-old car, you can't do that. Yeah. And she literally went, well, we'll figure it out. I thought, you've just implemented something
that you haven't got an answer
for. You haven't got an answer for.
It's ridiculous.
Can I ask something, actually? Just thinking about... like with the petrol ones, we've gone on a trip and, we might be buzzing around the middle of Spain or somewhere. You don't know if there's going to be a petrol station. We always carry a can of dinosaur juice in the boot, just in case you get into trouble. Is there a booster pack or anything that you can put in yours that just in case you stop?
They have them, but it only gives you like 3 or 4 miles just to get you to the nearest charger. The AA and Porsche Assist have... things on board to actually...
got them moving.
Yeah, diesel generator. So it's diesel that's powering you.
Yeah. Just stop the boat and put one in the boat.
It makes sense for having an electric car for around town, shorter journeys. Town, it's great because...
I'm for them in that scenario.
Going shopping
and they're great. But I think for everyday use for everybody. It doesn't suit everybody. Also, going back to the pence per mile, if I drive, when that comes in to force, when I drive to Spain, I'm still paying per mile
The UK.
to drive outside of the UK.
How are they going to implement that? Because I'm not paying for
Yeah.
when I've not been in the country.
No.
Unless you go and buy yourself a European car and register it. I don't know. Can you do that? Wheel will be on the wrong side.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Somebody will look
So
into
you
it. I'm sure.
get around it.
Yeah. Dafter things have happened. So just going back to electric cars as well, what's your take on car interiors? We're on about driver aids and things, like auto braking and lane assist. What's your take on the big TV screen in the middle and no controls?
As somebody who loves tech,
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous. Tesla have a screen in the middle there. The speedo is there, so you're literally doing that.
Oh, so you're taking your eyes off the road all the time?
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. Porsche have just kept the normal, dash and display. I've got head-up display as well. I just don't see I think it's terrible. It looks just like a massive iPad in the middle of your.
I find it really user-friendly.
Yeah.
So you're bouncing down the road, down a country road, doing the national speed limit. You've tried to turn the heater down or turn the blower off.
Well, here's one for you, right?
Yeah.
That on a screen.
Which even so if I'm in my Taycan and I've got, like the other day, I'd got the aircon blowing on my face. You know, you have the little vents where you can alter that like that. You can just go off, move that up there. There are none on the Taycan.
What?
It's all done digitally.
What?
So you have to go into your screen, right? I can show you this. I've done a video on it. You can't move them. So you have to take your eyes off the road, go into your screen. You go into another menu. Then it shows you your car dash with all these little vents of where it goes, and you have to touch it and move it so that it digitally moves it like that. Now, I did a video on this, and the evangelist went, I think you'll find you don't need to do that while you're driving because you would do that before you move. No, I was happy with it and I wanted to move. No.
Temperatures
change, yeah.
All by their own.
Yeah.
So apparently I was supposed to do that first. Honestly, you literally have to go into these menus and you see a picture of it and you move where the air is direction.
I genuinely would not buy a car if all the heater controls were on screen.
Yeah.
I would refuse to buy it. I want Mark II Escorts. We're going back to the Mark II Escort.
Yeah.
It's got a hot and a cold,
Yeah.
an up and a down, and an on and an off.
Yeah.
What more do you need?
Yeah.
You don't.
It's
And the other thing is, the only fingerprints you'd ever get in your Escort really would be on the ashtray, wouldn't it? And now, you go in the middle of like Lee's car, or even my BMW, the screen there, although it's not an electric car, it is touchscreen, so I don't touch it because I can't stand seeing fingerprints everywhere. But
you do get fingerprints over everything.
Yeah, well, I noticed when I looked in yours, I thought, what's been going off here?
Covered in fingerprints.
Yeah.
Been down Blidworth bottoms.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
You've got a thing developing there. I hope you haven't done a video on that.
I haven't. No. Although it's very difficult because they don't like to flash the red lights too much to conserve battery.
Yeah.
The mad thing is, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
because I used to rally round there in Mansfield, round the forests round there.
A friend of ours, though, he has got an international or national map of good laybys, hasn't he? We cannot mention.
Let's leave that
one. Was Gillian Tailforth found in one of them? From EastEnders.
That's a blast from the past.
Yeah.
Do you remember she got done for? Yeah, we can't say that.
Yeah.
Google it if you want to know.
Anyway, this podcast is turning into something else.
Totally bring it back.
Let's rewind it. A quick note, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, head to CarEvents.com and discover car events near you. We always ask people on the pod, 3-car garage, money no object, lottery win.
Okay, right. Oh, this is a good one.
Tell you what, do one each and then it gives you a bit of thinking time.
Okay, Ford Capri Classic Mark II. Same, was it Mark II that the professionals had?
Yep.
Yeah, Ford Capri. There we go. That's
Good
one.
shout.
Yeah, first one, if I could get one, and I would, with no object, it would be a Mark III GXL Cortina.
Yeah, back to your
Complete
first car.
with vinyl roof.
Nice.
Definitely.
It would be a 911, and it would be which one was it? I test drove. It was what's the glass top one?
Tiger.
The Targa 4.
I might be wrong, so I'm not onto a 911 model.
I test drove it. I'd have that, the 911 Targa.
Yeah. Is that an S? Or?
I think it was the 4S that I test drove. Yeah. Really nice car.
Yeah.
But I have to say, when I test drove it, great car, sounded lovely, really exciting. Wouldn't want to drive it every day. I was glad to get back in my Taycan because it was just more comfortable.
Wow. Okay. That's surprising. Yeah. There's only one 911 I've been in that I don't find that comfy, and that's a friend of the pod, Sean. He's got a GT3 Manti with bucket seats in, and that's quite a stiff ride, shall we say. Phenomenal, but after half a day in it, you're like...
It's a shame, can I not have 4 cars? Can I not do a Jay Leno?
Let's go
on. Right, so second one would be Jensen Interceptor.
Okay. Yeah.
Always loved them. There's not many about, and when I see one, you see them here at the Motorist every now and again. I just drool and just walk around them all the time. Beautiful car, and that will always be beautiful. But
no, I'm with you on that.
I would definitely have one. Yeah.
Good shout.
The Taycan.
Wow.
Yeah, the Taycan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
It would be as my mate says, the poverty model. I'm not interested in going fast, and it can go around.
So the Gen 1?
No, the Gen 2.
The Gen 2.
The ice grey one that I had, that was, it would just, more mileage, more range.
Ticked all the boxes.
And it ticked the boxes, and I didn't go fast. It was great.
Fair enough, yeah.
Struggling now, I'd keep what I've got. Or if you said...
V8 Vantage roads.
Yeah, but I think I probably would go and have a look at one of the newer Astons now. And... because
they're
beautiful looking. Yeah. I don't know which one because there's quite a few variations now. So I wouldn't get a new Vantage because I've got a Vantage, but I'd look.
But you'd certainly have a trip to JCT and
and have a look around.
A schmooze.
Yeah.
Good
So
shout.
I think that'd be it.
Go on then.
If I had that extra one, it would be a yellow Renault 5 Electra. I love it. It's just a great little car.
So which one? The standard one or the new turbo nutter one that's come out?
No, just the standard
one.
Yeah, it was just I test drove it in Morecambe. That was the only drawback.
Apologise to people on the West Coast.
And it was a great car. It put a smile on my face. It was fun. Actually, there's a standing up a mile.
Really? Is that good?
It was a really, really, really cool car.
We mentioned up earlier before we started recording, my neighbour had one. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
So, great little car.
So that'd be my, I'd have that to nip down to the shops in.
Nice. That's good. I'm surprised the pair of you, there isn't really an Exotica in there. But I know you're not so much of a speed demon, are you? You're just,
no. I mean, my new Taycan, I did a launch control at the end of here, only to 60, which is where it's, and it made me feel sick. It rips your face off. It's mad. But I don't see the point. As soon as you've done that a couple of times, you're going, look what this can do.
When I got rid of the last Porsche, I did a launch control on it on the day I got rid of it because I'd never done it before. And I said to my lad, do you fancy a quick blast around the block in it before it goes? He's like, yeah, okay. And he went, have you done a launch? Because I was just got the lunch button. Yeah. I was press it and I expect somebody to come through with sandwiches. Apparently it says launch, not lunch. But tried it. I thought, okay, that's done now. I don't understand why you need it. I'll never...
You probably will ever press it twice and that'll be it.
Yeah.
It was weird because you do it in the Taycan and this one, you put your foot on the brake, sport mode, floor it, and then you let go of the brake. But before you let go of the brake, there's this like a whirring noise, like a static. You think, God, my hair going to stand on end? Am I standing near a pylon or something? It's weird.
Like your washing machine's broken.
Yeah, but then it goes, and it is like your washing machine on high speed spin. It's crazy, but there's no point in it.
No,
I'd rather have the range.
Yeah, no, I get it.
There's another thing, by the way. A lot of people say these conspiracies with electric cars, and I did a test on this. I got one of them, meters where it tells you where your electric is.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And people say, it's giving people the C word, I'll be careful with YouTube, because you sat on a battery and static. And I tested it out. There's none in it at all. But I went near a pylon. It.
I will do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in the car. Zero.
No,
Yeah. So where is all this coming from? I did it.
Conspiracy theory, certainly. That's what they do. Yeah. Future projects then, what have we got on the line? I mean, we haven't even covered your travelling or your food. Or you've just come back from the States, haven't you?
I've come back from the States.
After getting assaulted.
Yeah, but
That's an interesting watch.
That would have been an evangelist as well. I did India before that. I did New Delhi. That was interesting. Here's one for you. This is nobody knows this yet. So there's another YouTuber that I know called Wendell, and we're going to Pakistan.
Oh.
So we're going to do a tour to Pakistan, and then I'm trying to get him to do somewhere in South America, which is dangerous where all the barons are and stuff. I said, well, let's do that, because India did really
Why
well.
not?
And,
Danger. Yeah, let's go there.
yeah, well, they get lots of views. India was an eye-opener. It was just madness. And if you look at India, what was interesting was there were very few electric cars there. It was all... the smog, though, it made me ill. If anywhere needs electric cars, it's New Delhi. It was terrible.
The worst place I've ever been like that was Bangkok.
Yeah, likewise.
And just driving down on a tuk-tuk, we actually went and bought some masks.
Yeah.
It was horrible. You just sneeze in and...
But I went around this. I went to walk around New Delhi in the not the touristy spots, and I've got it on camera. And there was lanes and lanes and alleys of old car parts and steering wheels and knobs and dashes and stuff. And random stuff, loads of it. And I'm thinking, what is all this about? And there were people surfing through it. I'm thinking, why would you... These were from cars that must have been years old, Datsuns, and, it's just crazy. And I think, blimey, it's madness.
So it's just like an open scrapyard?
Yeah, of all these different car parts. Which is
Why?
I have no idea, and people were buying them.
Yeah.
I just don't see that anywhere like that going all electric. I don't see America. I spend a fair time in America still, and I don't see America unless it's the West Coast, Los Angeles. But they're all a bit strange there, aren't they? In Los Angeles, they'll use Teslas and stuff, but the rest of it. Nah, big gas guzzling cars. Yeah,
never going to happen, is it?
But India, that's quite interesting though, because Tata that own JLR, massive investment into electric cars. They're Indian.
And yet they're Indian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how? Why are they not there?
Well, it'll come one day, but it's just how far that down the line is.
Yeah.
The heat also is a big thing, because in the heat, extreme temperatures make a difference with electric cars.
Massively.
So my car at the moment will get 340 in summer, like now. That will go to under 300 in winter. And if you're charging it, fast charging, in summer, when it's really hot, the fans come on and it slows it down, because otherwise it's just going to overheat. The batteries are too hot. So you've got a massive effect with...
I don't know if they do. I know certain cars do. They use the air conditioning for the battery cooling system.
Yes, they do.
Is that the same on that?
Yeah, you precondition your batteries as well. So, I mean, I've got my app and I'm looking. If I was in my ice grey car, because I've got to drive up to the Lake District after here, if I was in my ice grey car, I drove down from there yesterday to Leeds, and I'm like thinking, I've got to charge now. I wouldn't have had to do it in the ice grey one, because I got more range. Yeah, but I've got to now think, where am I going to charge on the way back?
You've parked opposite.
Yeah, there is one here.
I know I have. I know I have.
Nobody on the charge and your car's there.
You're telling the evangelist, but the issue is there, right? I could have plugged it in, then you have to download the app, then you have to sign up to the app.
Surely there's only one app for them all.
There's a multitude of apps, and I just thought, I can't be bothered. And that was a slow charger out there anyway, so I would have got 10% in, so I'd have had to charge on the way up anyway.
Yeah, I got it.
So you've got to have the right app.
You're going to have to press your lunch button then, aren't you?
My lunch button, yeah.
Sit around.
Don't miss my lunch.
Get it charged.
Have you thought about Cuba?
Cuba. I can't go to Cuba
Because you've been to America.
because of my visa. I have a US work visa, so I can't go to Cuba.
It's a shame. It's
So,
an amazing country.
Yeah.
I probably could. There's
Yeah,
probably
it's-
somewhere
it's
around.
so much
I think you'll find you can if you do this.
Yeah.
One of my evangelists will
Get
tell
another
us.
passport.
Yeah, but then if you go back into the States, it creates issues
Yeah, use your old passport.
because, well, it flags up. It flags up where you've
Oh,
been.
does it?
Yeah, because
Have they gone digital now?
yeah, it's all digital. With Wendell, we looked at Pakistan, which we can do, and then he says, "Let's go to Afghanistan," and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm up for that." But then again, it has issues going back into the States. So because I thought, well, Afghanistan would have been great to film. I wanted to do Russia, and you can't do that at the moment. There's, a lot of places you can't go.
I think you've got to jump on the bandwagon while you can,
Yeah.
because you don't know what's going to happen in 10 years' time or anything, do you? So,
Yeah, I think the most dangerous place that I've been to is probably Barrow-in-Furness. Sorry, Barrow-in-Furness.
Apologise. You're
Secondly,
really sweating that West Coast today, aren't you?
Secondly, followed by Morecambe.
He's in a theme here. Are you going to manage to get down to Liverpool? Or?
Yeah, we'll stop there. I did a video of Barrow-in-Furness and Morecambe saying it was the worst town, and if you look on it, one of them did really well. And I did a Barrow-in-Furness one, and I just put where people are scared or something or frightened. And it actually was in, I was reading the Westmoreland Gazette, as you do, and I was in there, and the local parliament guy,
In the paper you were reading on the video?
yeah, it went to what the local what politician or whatever
Okay, MP.
brought it up about my video, saying that I had badmouthed it and these YouTubers should be stopped, and it was in the Westmoreland Gazette.
Thank you for the advertising.
I have to shop sometimes in Barrow-in-Furness. I went to B&Q there the other week, and I thought I'll put my out on.
Yeah, it's one of those false noses.
Just leave my car outside with the number plate on that everybody knows. Probably on bricks when I get outside.
You need an Aston Martin flippy number plate thing.
I do need one.
Yeah, just put a normal number plate on, just press the button.
Do you know what that'd be handy for though? Is those car parks where you've got only an hour,
Yeah.
and then they come round and give you a
Look at it.
ticket. Yeah. Although I tell you what works in autumn. Terrible when a leaf gets stuck on your number plate.
Terrible,
isn't
isn't it? Yeah.
Awful. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
really
then you
bad.
turn the magnet off and it falls off.
Yeah.
Take the blue tack off of it.
Anyway, moving on. Well, listen, guys, I could sit here and chat all day. It's a lot of subjects. I think we've covered a lot of
Can I
subjects.
just say,
Of course you
for
can.
my
Yeah.
viewers that are watching, right, subscribe to this channel, right? So subscribe to this channel.
Yeah, to Drive Life. I mean, we've got the app out there, as a lot of you are well aware. We'll put a link in the show notes below, and vice versa. For our viewers watching, look up Lee. Your content on there is just,
The MacMaster.
you will
yeah.
spend a long time looking through it all.
There's quite a few videos.
Yeah, the MacMaster, MAC, as in the computer.
Lots of
So,
videos.
Thank you very, very much for coming in, the pair of you.
Thank you.
Been great chatting. Hopefully we'll get you on a car trip very soon.
Yeah.
We will.
And then we'll
aim
have
for
to,
that. Yeah,
come
that'd
back
be good.
and dissect it and tell everybody the good points.
Yeah.
It's weird though, isn't it, how life works? Because I wouldn't be sat here if it wasn't for
No,
Paul.
it's bonkers. Sliding doors.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even done YouTube. I don't think.
Yeah.
I probably would have.
And I
Been,
wouldn't be sat here
yeah.
because of you. Because
Yeah, exactly,
we
yeah.
met, I
Yeah.
don't know how many years ago.
Yeah,
I
through
think-
the guy who owns the Motorist.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think I'd have been in a
weird,
padded
isn't
cell.
Let's leave it there. Thanks ever so much for watching, guys.
Thank you.
All the links in the show notes below. We'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
And remember, guys, click that subscribe button to Drive Life, and also hit that little bell for notifications of when they upload new videos.